The Red Prince stands stunned when he sees the woman you were about to address.
It is she, the woman I've dreamt of since birth, the secret of my soul. We met in Driftwood, but she disappeared before we had a chance to talk.
He approaches her, goes down on one knee, and courteously kisses her hand.
You do not disappoint, my prince. You're every bit the gentleman they said you'd be. How very pleasurable, is it not, to finally meet in the flesh? For it is very much in the flesh that we must meet after all. Become one. Oh, Father, Life Shaper, that is what the goddess called you. How good of you, dear prince, that you have come to shape life in me.
She looks at you for the first time with a look of understated condescension that could rival the Red Prince's own.
I am Sada, Princess of the House of Law, and you interrupt the destined union between the Red Prince and the Red Princess.
Softly, she moves her body against his, puts her arms around his neck, her mouth hot against his ear.
Let's forget for a moment all the forces that drove us here, shall we, my prince? Let us think of nothing but ourselves, one amid a nest of satin. You and I, we know each other like only true lovers do. So at long last, let us become lovers.
By my empire, yes. At long last, we shall become lover. Quite. Why don't you, enjoy a nice stroll? A nice, long stroll, while the lady and I enjoy a more private moment.
Sada smiles at him so endearingly, it almost melts your heart.
Come, my prince. Let's retire to that satin nest of mine. Follow me.
Sada and the Red Prince enter the wagon, close the door behind them. Nothing for it but to wait until they re-emerge. A sound reaches you from the wagon, some kind of moan. You find a nice spot in the shade and close your eyes. When you wake from your nap, you see Sada and the Red Prince exiting the wagon, hand in hand. As Sada and the Red Prince walk down the wagon steps, you suddenly witness a group of lizards appearing as if out of nowhere. Their commander is a vile-looking lizard, his face the very definition of mischief. Chuckling, he addresses the couple.
Well, 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 look who's coming up for air. Mighty powerful noises I heard coming from that there carriage. Teensy bit jealous I am.
Silence! You will bow before us and explain this intrusion, or by the seven I will cut you down where you stand.
My oh my, you didn't tell Loverboy anything, did you, dollface? Naughty, naughty. You've been played for a fool, little prince. She's sworn to another. That's right. Your boo is betrothed to a very different kind of king. All she needed from you was a dollop of prophecy juice. I dare say she got it.
You utter villain!
Oh, well spoken. Advice I will duly follow.
The Red Prince gently cups Sada's face in his hands.
Sada, my sweet, our meeting has been shrouded in mystery, but know that I'll do right by you. Know that I love you.
And I love you. Together we will brave it all, even the king.
Oh, ain't that as sweet as a bowl full of peaches? Hate to be that guy, but I gotta break up the party now. Time for you and your belly full of litter to crawl back to the king, darling. Gonna get me some private time with Prince Charming myself.
He grins widely, revealing rows of blackened teeth.
I've always had a soft spot for red meat.
Gets in your lungs, you're done for. Bad. Well, desperate times. Right, if any, I'll get
Show yourself!
Sure, if we wanted to get eaten by a bleeding boy. Giant desperate times. True enough, and that giant lizard must look like a great mutton chop to him.
Into the dark with you.
Black ring, don't forget that part. Yeah, well, desperate times. that death fog gets into you. Ring, don't forget that part. Yeah, well, desperate times. Bad people. Right, if any of that death fog gets in you. Bad people. Black ring, don't forget that part. Wanted to get eaten
Show yourself.
None.
Wanted to get eaten by a bleeding.
Heaven curse these fiends! Sadher, where have you gone?
True enough. And that giant lizard must look...
The Red Prince fondles a satin handkerchief, his face a scowl, his eyes two ember spectres.
She gave me this handkerchief. Something to remember her by. Who would have thought so soon would come our parting? The longing of a lifetime squeezed into a few short hours of perfection. only to end with blood and bereavement. I will, won't I? Thank you.
He hugs you back. The embrace lasts, and keeps lasting. When you finally pull away, you can tell he's somewhat embarrassed, but he smiles at you warmly nonetheless.
Well, we've become very good friends, haven't we? Yes. Very good friends.
Move along, stranger. Not much to see here, but a bunch of sad saps with full carts and empty pockets. That's what it looks like. We're on our way to Arx to set up shop for Lucian's Day, but there's no hope of that now. Whatever's going on in Paradise Downs has good and blocked the path. And unless you want to get a mouthful of death fog or get carried off by a void woken, there's no other way in. Only hopes that Alexander and the D.O. will blow through here and sort this mess out. Well, of course he did. Of course he did. Let me guess. The sun's burnt out and the gods are dead too.
Right. Glory! Mine!
To none. Right where I want you.
I know you come for me again. I know you do. I know I only have to wait. I am fine. I am fine when I return to my people. My people come for me. My mother, Sarias, the others. They take me away from there. But then the wolves come. Roost Anlon. He takes me and they cannot stop him. Do we return now? To the others? My people wait for me nearby. Yes, yes, thank you. I see you so clearly. I see the goodness in you. Let's go.
The surface of the mirror ripples with a sickly haze. As you gaze into its surface, the haze forms shapes, and the shapes jerk into a figure. You see the outline of a skull, perhaps once an elf, though the flesh is all but rotted from his bones. What remains is the flat, dull colour of sick. Behind him march ornately clad Black Ring. The picture flickers, fades, then returns in full relief. Beneath the din of the marching soldiers, or perhaps alongside it, a voice snags in your mind, like a fishhook in an open eye. It makes a demand. Tell it if you killed another Godwoken. The image strains and flickers again. Each time it comes into focus, an odd sensation tickles your head, like a small, many-legged creature were trying to wriggle its way in through your ear. The image flickers and fades to a hazy sheen once more, and the sensation vanishes. There's no denying what you saw. The Black Ring itself is hunting you, or at least paying others to do so. It's impossible to tell who might be working for them. You eye your companions.
Man's best friend is his sword. His only friend to boot.
Only thing to do is keep your friends close. So close you'll be able to whip out a short blade in time, if they look at you funny.
Money makes blind. I wonder how many of you can still see the light of day.
We continue. We go on.
The death fog leaves you living. So does this.
My baby, my girl, there you are.
Mother! Honored one, we have time to speak later, but first I must speak to Sabeel. Too long do I keep silent, too long do I wait, no more. I long await this moment, Sabeel. Finally we speak among tree and kin.
You die not in the fog.
Sahela pats Sabeel's right arm with a warm, motherly smile, but then her fingers run across the names tattooed upon her skin, and her blind eyes see it all. She pulls her hand back, as if scalded, shock temporarily overpowering her.
My child, what is wrong?
These names, they're the names of the dead, of the scions of our people.
I don't know. The names, they are Scions.
Of course, your servants, your champions, your worshippers. Do you not remember, Sabeel?
You are the prime Scion.
You're like I am, only far greater. I am but a limb, A branch where once there were many. You are the heart. You are the hope for our new homeland, the promise of our future, the very reason we do not give in to despair.
You speak falsehoods. If I were a Scion, I'd know it. I'd feel it with every beat of my heart.
Your heart's been dulled. You're confused. You're conflicted. And all because...
Her darkened eyes scour her body with an uncanny intensity.
All because of this.
She reaches for Sabeel's cheek with a sure hand and softly traces her scar with her thumb.
Careful.
Such unspeakable horror, this thing. I see all now. I figure who you are. The one we fear. The needle in the night. The Scion that is Scion killer. That is who you are, is it not?
Sabeel's eyes close. You can only imagine the scenes of bloody murder she sees in her very own dark.
I was forced to.
You cause much grief. Diliana, Kuma, Silius, Mindaran, all the many others on your long, lean arm. Dead friends. They are dead because you run away. They are dead because you do not want to be the heart. Your fear is how Roost captures you. Your fear is how they scar you. The scar makes you kill Scions. Without Scions, all elves die. If all elves die, the fault is yours.
She grabs her brusquely, forces her face close to Sabeel's.
You remember. My blind eyes make you see.
Sabeel is forced to look into Sahela's murky white eyes. It looks like she's about to collapse. You can feel her drawing grateful strength from your support.
I saw it. All. Me, the prime Scion. Destined to be the heart that pulses at the center of all ancestor trees. But the great mother tree spoke of death and domination. I hated her, fled from her, only to end in a strange land among unkind strangers. First there was Roost, then the Master.
She smiles and strokes your cheek.
Thank you.
But we understand not.
We demand you be the heart.
You are the greatest of us all. The prime Scion. We need you. You must go to the Nameless Isle where the mother tree roots.
She is sick with fog that undid so many. She is dying. We've need of a new mother. Of you. Your advice is unwanted.
No, it is not.
Sabeel is her own calm self again. Her eyes trace a bird of prey, black against blue in the sky.
The mother, the master. We'll see. It is not a decision for today.
But the Nameless Isle awaits. The Great Mother calls you with every breath of wind that rustles through her leaves.
Heed her call, Sabeel. It rustles for you. You are a new mother to us all. The heart that beats in our every chest.
To be the heart, or to be heartless? Is that it? Wouldn't count your chickens just yet.
My dearest friend, the one who saves me.
You give us everything.
Thank you for helping me. Without you, I am already dead.
You save us all. My girl is back. Our Scion is back.
I know what you need, and I can help you. We can help you.
She crouches down, placing a hand on the earthen ground.
Can you hear them? Their roots stretch beneath us, even now. You do not understand. The trees are the great wisdom. The Great Mother guides them. The trees will bring us where we must go. I will link you. You will hear them. They will feed you. Increase the source in you. Increase the power.
She leans toward you, her veiled eyes directed toward the ground. The slightest of smiles plays over her lips, then vanishes.
A space inside you clears. You have room for more source. You have room for more everything. You have room for the whispers of the trees. Hold your hand to the ground.
We need you standing.
Yield or not, I fight.
Go on.
A thought suddenly enters your mind, though you're quite certain it isn't yours. You hear the voice of Tir Sendelius in your head. Do as she says.
So, I hold my hand over yours. We breathe together. We call the spirit of the trees to us. Close your eyes. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale.
With each in-breath, the voices flutter in, whispers at first, then gentle murmurs like water over rocks. The wind of the voices enters you as you and Sahala breathe together. It travels down your throat, into your belly, around your heart. Suddenly, your blood runs icy cold, then warms again. Each breath makes you stronger. The voices fortify you, quicken your pulse, make a space in your heart where, yes, a great power can inhabit you. You exhale, and the voices, all but one, no louder than a whisper, flutter away. The space within you remains.
It is the voice of the trees, of the mother. It will remain with you now. I hear it too, beautiful and strong. Yours will grow if you let it. It will shrink if you do not. We are connected now, you and I. You and all our kind.
I give you something too. A thanks.
Take this spear. It destroys evil. It helps you. You help us more than you know. We make arrangements. We travel soon. I must meet someone who can help us. I say no more than this. But I do wish you good luck. And perhaps we meet again. Someday.
This is incredible. I've never felt so alive. Don't allow it, remember?
The couple notice you approach. The man offers a cheery smile. The woman watches you a little more warily, her arms crossed in front of her.
Greetings.
Greetings.
The open road. And a new life at the end of it, hopefully.
Fulton, our business is our business. Remember what Calvan told us.
The man nods, chastened.
We don't know where we're going, but we're definitely not going back. There's no reason for anyone to go back where we came from unless they have a death wish.
We heard that our homes are likely gone. Void woken. We'd be dead with everyone there if we weren't forced to meet in secret. Fulton's a sorcerer. I don't care about that. I love him. But too many people from where we come from would care.
Yeah, they were just stuck in their ways. Afraid of what's being said about people like me.
Well, they're all dead now, and they can't stop us being together. The Voidwoken are welcome to this place. We're going to start a new life.
Won't you miss her?
A fisherman stares at the water, muttering to himself.
The missus will kill me. She'll tear me a new mouth halfway down my neck. Fish will bite, all right. Not that you'd eat one. I've got a worse problem than that. Way, way worse. I've gone and dropped my wedding ring in the water. I was casting a line and I cast me bloody wedding ring instead. Guess my fingers aren't as fat as they used to be.
He contrives to give you a sad look.
The wife's got a sentimental attachment to that ring. Her mum took it off her dad's drowned body, here, on this very beach.
A mischievous grin appears upon his face.
Ah, I'm joshing ya. Scammed it off a drunken elf in the tavern a few years back. But still, the wife will be furious. I could do that, I could. But seeing as the ring has a bit of sauce to it, like as not, going in there will attract Voidwoken. All things equal, between an angry wife and Voidwoken, I'm leaning towards the wife. I'm not asking you to risk your life on account of me and my marital woes, but if you fancy a paddle, you can go right ahead.
Prepare you.
A horrified fisherman stares at the water, muttering to himself.
That was terrifying. I need to get myself a new line of work. Something as far away from the water as I can go. Goat herd, high on a mountain. Spice trader in the deserts. Anything but this. If the missus will go for it, of course. She likes the beach. You found it! How wonderful! The wife will be thrilled. Or she would if she ever found out about this, which of course she won't. But I can't thank you enough.
He slips the ring onto his finger, where it dangles loose.
I feel better already. Need to fatten myself up again so I don't lose it a second time. Can't be relying on the kindness of strangers to dig me out. The very best to you. I wish you well.
With a new confidence in his stance, he turns back to his fishing.
What is it, boy?
Halt! The hound smells sauce on you. Plenty of it, by the sound of him. Haven't got a collar for you. Damn it. I'm sorry, but I can't let you leave. Hounds, at the ready. Fine, fine. Do all the gallivanting you want. But if a hand goes snapping at your heels, I'm looking the other way.
There's a dark aura here. I have a bad feeling about this.
Creeping little flies.
The power recoils from your attack. It clearly wasn't expecting any resistance. You can feel it trying to maintain control on the dwarves' minds, but it's slipping. The eyes of the dwarves, once a solid black, clear for a moment. They look about in confusion, in panic, and then race for the bushes.
Say I told you so.
Persistent little flies.
Your abilities are powerful, but this time it's ready for you. Its hold on the dwarves never slips. You can hear a faint chuckle from an unseen mouth.
Buzz back to your dung heap. Stupid and persistent.
Yes, black as the grave.
Here lies Patrick, prophet. He perished in this place predicting the downfall of Bracchus Rex.
The statue stands before you in silence. It reaches to the heavens, as if praying for release from its chains.
What's happening to the shrine? Yeah.
As the torches around you flicker and crack to life, you hear a low groan. It starts soft, then crescendos until your chest rattles and your head buzzes.
Bracchus Rex! God damn you to this hell in which I suffer! God damn these burning flames! All that's twisted, all that's profane, all that's immeasurably cruel has been touched by Bracchus' withered hands. I knew him, and knew his secrets. I saw his rise and fall as woven into the tapestry of time. He branded my truth as blasphemy, and I burn for it! Just when the agony subsides, another pilgrim makes her way to the shrine and puts flame to the torches. They think to honor me. Instead, they incinerate me! I live that horror. The truth invites danger. Some would sooner be swallowed by the void than tell it. Wait. You. I see it. You, too, follow a path consumed by fire. You must take my gift from among the flames. With it, you will know truth. With it, you can... Bracchus!
The rumble reaches a deafening forte, then dissipates. The voice is gone. Only the whisper of the wind fills your ears.
Hey, look! A lamp!
Lying at your feet is a strange lamp of ancient design. Spots of gold shimmer through the thick grime that coats it. As you hunker down for a closer look, the lamp jerks slightly, almost imperceptibly. The lamp feels strangely hot to your touch. As you wipe away the years of dirt and grime, it trembles in your hand. Heavy smoke spills out of the spout of the lamp, falling to your feet, where it flows away from you. The vapor arches into the air and starts to take shape before you.
Who summons what? One of you?
His face twists into a sneer and he flexes his claws.
What's wrong, Godwoken? Did the Seven turn you down too? Or are you here seeking even more power? I should strike you down where you stand, God-taint. Because it would be a kindness. I've known the power you feel, the promises you were made. I too was named Godwoken once. My God gave it all. Power, glory, hope. It was intoxicating. Until she took it away.
Deep inside, you can feel Zor Stissa stirring. You hear a faint chuckle. She remembers this one.
Unworthy, she said. Unworthy to be divine. So she gave it to another. What kind of a monster gives you that power only to strip it from you? To promise you will be the light of the world and then cast you into darkness? It was my birthright. They promised me greatness and then cast me aside like a used rag. So I looked elsewhere. The Void said I could have eternal power. That I could be the light of the world. And it delivered. I have power unlike any Godwoken. Even if I lack my freedom. It laughed as I was sealed away in that lamp. Be the light of the world, Godwoken, it said. Even so, it was more honest than your hellish 7. 3? Why should I grant you 1? You and your gods are a blight upon this world. I would rid the world of your corruption, not help you spread it. You threaten me, when I have become so much more than Godwoken. I will wear your entrails for ribbons, god scum.
Careful. I'm spotting a trap. Blood is ice. The void is here. I don't know what that statue's doing, but it doesn't look good.
I'll yield to none. I'll yield to none. We need to shut this thing up.
From death comes life. From death comes life.
your maker.
You shift uncomfortably as the wagon traverses a patch of bumpy ground. The Magisters haven't removed your shackles, even though there's nowhere to run. You sigh and gaze outward. The landscape rolls past, empty and still. But then, you see something flying close to the horizon. Several things, in fact. You peer closer. What are those? Birds? Your eyes widen as they draw nearer. Those aren't birds. You turn around to shout a warning, but it's too late.
More bodies. A lot more bodies.
There's a void woken on the bridge ahead. But where's it going?
Good gods, what happened?
The dwarf rocks on her haunches, gnawing at her own bloody knuckles. Her wet, fearful eyes flick to you. She lowers her fist just enough to hiss a warning.
Away! Away! Too noisy! It'll come back! It'll take me too!
She shrinks into the fetal position.
It'll come back! It'll come back! It'll come back! It'll come back! And we'll all be eaten alive! Get away from me! You're already dead! You're eaten alive! Eaten alive! Get away from me!
She clamps her hands over her ears and shuts her eyes. She rocks back and forth, deaf to your words.
Two.
Is this where the flying voidwoken took those poor souls from the beach?
your maker.
I can't hear nothing. Nothing but that voice. It won't stop, it never stops.
The dwarf starts to sob quietly, with his hands pressed over his ears. The dwarf snaps around to look at you, panic filling his sapphire eyes.
It won't stop. Since we locked up Maldus, his voice, it just won't stop.
He grabs your arm, pawing at you while his mouth moves silently. His blue eyes swirl, turning an oily black as you watch.
Into the dark with you.
How many of you creeps do I have to beat?
Even if the runes were glowing right, I still haven't sorted out the diagnostics.
Yes.
What's this, woman? I know a bomb when I see it. Out with it!
Ah, one of Lohars, are you? You should know better than to stick your clumsy fat fingers in the Queen's secret operations.
Beast's fists slam down hard onto the device. Shards fly from it in all directions, and the lights within it dim and then wink out completely.
Looks like you've had some technical difficulties, eh?
I know what you look like. I'll report you. Queen Justinia will have vengeance.
Good find. Nice.
Ruin! Brute!
The dwarven woman wrings her hands as she examines a contraption that looks broken beyond repair. Her ears twitch at your approach, but she does not turn to you.
Yes. I was carrying out important scientific work, for Queen Justinia at that. But some horrid brute came along and smashed it all. All my progress lost. You can't even imagine what a setback this is. One of Lohars, are you? You should know better than to stick your clumsy fat fingers in the Queen's secret operations.
She flinches in fear and begins to stammer an answer to you.
I was trying to fix up this delivery device. Same little beauty the Order used to wipe out the Black Ring, with a side order of elves, in the last war. But I'm afraid it's beyond repair now. Maybe the original maker can fix it.
It delivers death fog, of course. This is a slightly modified version of what the Order used during the war.
Queen Justinia's orders, of course. Can't really say any more than that to you. A lizard, name a Hannig. Crazy smart, crazy all round really. She should get here from Paradise Downs any day now.
I've spotted something.
I've spotted something.
The master is on the isle with no name.
You made it all the way here, you creeping little maggots? Have you wriggled up to bow to me? Has Lohar sent you to beg forgiveness for his sins? My lord had faith. He came to me when Lohar failed the queen. And as a reward for my service, he has granted me his favor. He has granted me Mord Akhaim. You damnable fool! The death fog is not mine to use. I serve my lord in all things. He demanded that I secure the barrels, and now He demands your death. Kill! Crush the flies! Mordecai commands you!
I'm ready!
What the bugs! Grind them into the dirt!
I'll yield to you now. Please! No! Mercy! Mercy!
The Master Sorcerer throws up his pocked, cracked arms to defend himself as you step forward. The undead dwarf looks quickly over its shoulder, his gaze darting from shadow to shadow.
Of course! Of course! Anything! Just name it! What? Source?
The skeleton slowly lowers his arms, staring at you in disbelief.
Of course! You're God-woken! You seek power! Ultimate power! And I worried we could not find common ground. Yes, God-woken, I can teach you. If you swear you won't banish me to the afterlife. Praise be. Very well, God-woken. Listen carefully. Source and void, day and night, love and hate. One is meaningless without the other. To grow your source, to achieve your potential, you must embrace the void.
The grinning skeleton reaches into the folds of his robes and pulls out a small black mass. It's covered in veins and oozing pus.
Here, God-woken. Take a bite. The finest meal you'll find in this cave. The heart of a void woken.
Your god stirs, pushing you to eat it. Do not fear, a voice whispers. Do what must be done.
Perhaps not the most appetizing thing around, but if you truly want to channel more source...
The skeleton extends his arm, jiggling the heart towards you. A glob of dark yellow pus oozes through the bones of his palm and drips to the ground. The thick pus explodes into your mouth, coating the back of your throat. You can feel it running down your throat like rancid custard. You start to retch, your body struggling to reject this intruder. But your teeth clamp down hard on the fibrous, gritty flesh as you force yourself to chew and swallow. Deep within you, you feel something change. Your soul opens up, and you feel it swell as new channels for source start to flow through you. You swallow all you can, and despite the meat in your stomach, you feel a new space inside you, a potential waiting to be filled.
There, I held up my end of the bargain. I did as you asked. And now I'm getting as far from this cave as my bones will take me.
Mordus looks at you in alarm.
God's graves, please be quick. I can't. He'll hear. He'll know. He'll find me. He'll come. If I tell you, I die. Or worse.
Mordus takes a step back, looking about in half-crazed panic.
I can't. I can't. Not now. It's too late. It's all too late.
The dwarf sets his jaw and firmly refuses to speak until you ask him something else.
I had no choice. They wanted to destroy the death fog. They haul barrels of the greatest weapons in the world off a ship and then decide to throw them in the ocean. We couldn't let it happen. We needed it. So I took control. The power gifted to me. The power of Mordecai. The power to bend the feeble-minded to my will. And so much more. It was a gift from... It was a gift. Ah! The Queen! It's the Queen! She saw what Death Fog did to the Black Ring. She saw it destroy the Elven Forest. She said the dwarves needed power like that. And he told me to make sure she got it. He told me to ensure they got to... Arcs. The barrels were going to Arcs. I can't. He'll hear. He'll know. He'll find me. He'll come. You can't help. No one can help. If he makes up his mind, nothing can protect you. I can't tell you.
Mordus takes a step back, looking about in half-crazed panic.
I can't. I can't. Not now.
You grab the dwarf's old, brittle arm and follow through with your knee. There's a dry snapping sound as the crumbling bone cracks and gives way.
Ah! No! Stop! Stop! I beg you! I'll tell you.
You relent, and the dwarf stumbles back, cradling his fractured arm and whimpering.
It's him. The one the Seven rejected. The god.
The dwarf is interrupted by another crack. You see his femur has developed a break. The fracture spreads, shearing the bone in two. Mordus stumbles to the ground, oddly silent. He looks up, and you see that his jaw is cracked, broken, and falling to pieces. Fissures are starting to run across his skull, and his ribs start to snap and fall one by one. Mordus tries to raise his remaining arm to his head, splaying his fingers wide, but the digits are viciously snapped off by some unseen force. You hear the tiniest whimper from the skeleton before his face caves in, as if smashed with an invisible mace, and the body lies still and silent.
It's like there's fire in my blood. I never imagined such power.
The thought of death fog gives you pause. A weapon like that should give everyone pause.
Ah, death fog. Instant victory. I always applauded Lucian for using it.
I wouldn't use this garbage against my worst enemies. Some lines ought never to be crossed.
This scourge, this destroyer of my people should be wiped from the face of the earth.
Death fog. Nasty stuff. Overkill for a bunch of scattered rebels, though. Justinia's stooping lower than even I thought possible. Besides that mad scientist at our side, hard to say. Isabel pulls the Queen's strings. No idea who pulls hers. All I know is that we don't want death fog catching a ride on the roaring Ark's winds. Long as that stuff's around, no one's safe.
What's this? I found something. A letter with a dwarf seal.
Fine paper. It looks important.
That's from Queen Justinia. Great gilded galleons. What's it say?
Open it at once. This could be valuable.
What's this? I found something.
You look up to the portrait, its subject's face staring right back at you, one eyebrow raised, as if lifted by a fishhook.
Contentious cur! Thou wouldst dare prance and gallivant about without a summons? Get thee gone, for at the count of 12 less 2, the sentries advance.
You locate a hidden key behind the frame and slip it into your pack.
You dare relieve a virginal soul of his effects, slugabed? Rivellon is but a sty, and I am but forced to watch its slow descent into depravity.
The man in the painting huffs and turns his head away.
Fopdoodle.
If you think the Master loves you more than he loves me, then, Dot, you're a bigger idiot than you look.
Master's the master. Master knows the dog is better than the cat. Master says good dog. Does Master say good cat? No. No, Master does not.
The cat gives the dog a long, languid look of carefully disguised contempt. Then she sighs and turns to you.
Settle an argument for us. Dog's body here thinks that 'cause the Master is grateful for his, meaning the dog's, mindless devotion, he loves his dog more than he loves his cat. I, on the other hand, know full well that it's the Master's admiration for my general bearing, demeanour and intrinsic greatness what is most indicative of a state of actual love. He near worships me, he does.
Master loves his dog. Master thinks his cat is cool, not the same thing.
You're a moron.
No, I'm not. I'm black-brown.
See what I'm dealing with? Come on, settle the argument. Tell him he's wrong.
Dog.
Oh, cat.
Dog.
Oh, you're impossible.
The spider spindles right up to you, her long, long legs tickling the sandy floor. A malevolent intelligence gleams forth from 8 beady eyes. She opens her mouth, hissing at you.
Getting your mucky little boots in all the wrong places, hmm? Don't you know, my little pepper pot, that it's ever such bad manners to enter a queen's boudoir without permission? Did that overriker toss you upstairs, darling? Hmm? Has he grown weary of milking my venom his very own self? Oh, precious. Then you are no more than any other fly in his web. Just like me.
Her laugh is blood-curdling, like offal being strained through a sewer grate.
You have time for a little story, then? With nobody here but us stuck flies, let me spin you a tale. Long, long ago, many years before you were born, my little brood pudding, I was born in a desert land far from here. And stolen. I was stolen from my own queen as an unhatched egg. Barely anything do I remember of these days, hearing all from deep within an egg, seeing only through the filmy veil of my silken sack. But there is one thing I remember well, and that is the very first hunger pang, my tasty petal. That feeling, oh, so familiar, echoes within me now. I was quite enjoying our little chat, but nature is nature, sugar plum. I hunger. Can I hear my princelings blubbering in their loving cocoons? Time for us to feast.
Her fangs drool venom that sizzles on the sand. But there's no time to think about all that, because raising up on her hind legs, she pounces right at you.